What if the breakfast you have trusted for decades, the meal you wake up for, the one that feels like a healthy start, is actually accelerating the aging of your cells every single morning? That is not a dramatic claim. It is a biological reality backed by a growing body of research. And for adults over 50, the consequences of getting breakfast wrong are far more serious than for younger people, because the body's ability to manage blood sugar declines significantly with age. Today we are going to identify the specific breakfast foods that trigger dangerous glucose spikes in seniors, explain exactly what those spikes do inside your cells, and show you what to eat instead. Here is the problem: most people never connect to breakfast. After 7 to 8 hours of overnight fasting, your insulin levels are at their lowest point of the entire day. Your body is in a calm, stable metabolic state. When high glycemic foods enter this fasted system, first thing in the morning, blood glucose can surge by 70 to 100 mg/dl within 30 to 60 minutes. For reference, blood glucose above 180 mg/dl after a meal is considered the clinical threshold for cellular glucose toxicity. This threshold is easily crossed at breakfast by millions of seniors every day, without any symptoms, without any warning, and without any awareness that damage is accumulating. The real danger is not one morning spike. It is the daily repetition, compounding across years and decades, that accelerates aging at the cellular level. When blood glucose spikes sharply, mitochondria inside your cells become overloaded and generate a surge of reactive oxygen species, free radicals that attack cell membranes, damage DNA, and oxidize proteins. Vascular endothelial cells are particularly vulnerable. Research consistently shows that glucose variability, meaning repeated sharp rises and falls in blood sugar, is associated with up to 2.4 times greater risk of cardiovascular complications. But the damage extends beyond blood vessels. Excess glucose in the bloodstream binds to proteins through a process called glycation, producing compounds called advanced glycation end products AGEs. Once formed, AGEs accumulate in tissues and cannot be broken down. They stiffen collagen in the skin, causing wrinkles and loss of elasticity. They damage kidney filtration cells. They impair neural connections in the brain. They cloud the proteins in the eye's lens, contributing to cataracts. Fructose, found abundantly in fruit juices and sweet beverages, generates AGEs at 8 to 10 times the rate of regular glucose, making sweet drinks at breakfast among the most damaging choices a senior can make. The reason seniors are disproportionately harmed is not coincidence. After age 50, pancreatic beta cell function gradually declines, muscle mass decreases, and insulin resistance increases. The same breakfast that caused minimal glucose disruption at age 35 now produces a significantly larger and longer-lasting blood sugar spike at age 60. Research confirms that aging itself triggers insulin resistance through immune cell accumulation in fat tissue, meaning the biological clock is already working against seniors who maintain the breakfast habits of their youth. The foods that seemed harmless for decades have become metabolically dangerous. So which breakfast foods are the worst offenders? White rice has a glycemic index between 72 and 89, higher than table sugar at 65. Because milling removes the fiber-rich bran layer, white rice is essentially pure starch that converts to glucose in minutes. White bread sits between 75 and 85 on the glycemic index, and adding fruit jam doubles the sugar load with no fiber buffer. Orange juice, widely promoted as a healthy morning drink, contains the equivalent of 5 to 6 teaspoons of sugar per 250 milliliter serving, with all fiber removed. The fructose it delivers accelerates age formation far more aggressively than the intact fruit would. Cornflakes and most commercial breakfast cereals register a glycemic index of 81 or higher, despite their reputation as light and healthy options. Sweetened instant coffee sachets deliver 7 to 10 grams of sugar directly into a fasting system, triggering an immediate glucose surge before the day has even begun. The good news is that strategic changes to breakfast can dramatically stabilize blood sugar, reduce age accumulation, and slow cellular aging. Beginning from the very first meal you change, The most powerful single intervention is meal sequencing. Research shows that eating vegetables first, then protein, then carbohydrates last reduces post-meal glucose spikes by 30 to 40%. With the exact same foods in the exact same amounts. Soluble fiber from vegetables forms a viscous gel in the stomach that slows carbohydrate absorption. Protein stimulates insulin release without raising blood glucose. Together, these create a metabolic buffer that significantly dampens the glucose impact of carbohydrates eaten afterward. Eggs belong at the center of every senior's breakfast. Their glycemic index is 0. They produce no glucose spike at all. A single egg provides approximately 6 grams of complete protein, sustaining satiety and reducing the glycemic response to subsequent meals. Studies confirm that eating egg before rice measurably reduces the blood sugar spike compared to eating rice alone. Eggs also deliver choline for liver protection, lutein and zeaxanthin for age-related macular degeneration prevention, and vitamin D nutrients that seniors are frequently deficient in, and that directly support metabolic health. Oatmeal is the most evidence-supported carbohydrate choice for seniors with blood sugar concerns. Its beta-glucan fiber has been shown in clinical trials to reduce post-meal glucose rises by more than 40% compared to refined grain breakfasts. A practical morning bowl: cook half a cup of rolled oats in 1 cup of unsweetened soy milk. Top with 1 halved soft-boiled egg, a small handful of almonds, a handful of blueberries and a pinch of cinnamon. Blueberry anthocyanins improve insulin sensitivity and protect vascular endothelial cells. Cinnamon's cinnamaldehyde acts as an insulin mimetic to support glucose regulation. The almond fat and protein slow gastric emptying, further flattening the glucose curve. This is a breakfast designed to protect cells, not damage them. A second recipe that works beautifully for seniors is a soft tofu and vegetable scramble. Warm a small amount of olive oil in a pan. Sauté diced onion, spinach, and bell pepper first. Add 2 eggs and 50 grams of crumbled soft tofu, scramble together, and finish with a pinch of turmeric. Eat this before any grain or bread. The spinach provides magnesium, a mineral that directly supports insulin receptor function, and is commonly depleted in seniors. Turmeric's curcumin has demonstrated anti-inflammatory effects on pancreatic beta cells. The protein and fat in this dish ensure that blood glucose remains virtually flat, giving your cells the calm, undisturbed morning environment they need to repair, rather than respond to metabolic stress. Before adjusting your breakfast, please note these important cautions. If you are managing type 2 diabetes with medication, changing your meal composition may require a dosage adjustment. Consult your doctor before making significant dietary shifts. For adults over 65, protein adequacy is equally critical to blood sugar management, since insufficient protein accelerates sarcopenia. Target 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily. If you have chronic kidney disease, high-protein diets require medical supervision and introduce changes gradually replacing 1 breakfast item per week is more sustainable than overhauling everything at once. Every morning breakfast is a vote, either for cellular inflammation and accelerated aging, or for metabolic stability and cellular repair. White rice, white bread, fruit juice, sweetened cereal, and sweet coffee drinks. Cast votes for the former, every single day. Eggs, oatmeal, tofu, vegetables, and the simple habit of eating carbohydrates. Last, cast votes for the latter. The science is clear, the foods are affordable, and the change is entirely within your control. Start tomorrow. Eat your vegetables and egg first. Save the rice for last. Your cells will register the difference faster than you expect. If this video gave you something valuable, please like, subscribe, and share it with a senior you care about. Your youngest feeling morning may still be ahead of you.